above and below the collarbone. So what you're going to do is just a very, very light touch on one collarbone, right from your shoulder, one end of the collarbone towards the sternum. Really, really light, almost a tickle. The nervous system likes changes, likes things that's different, and it keeps it on its toes then. And then we're going to rub that area quite firm. I'm going to do it over my clothing. So below the collarbone, you've got muscles here in the just underneath the collarbone that attach and go up the neck as well. And these get really tight. So we're going to rub those quite firmly and vigorously. And then just go, you might want to be a little lighter on the top of the collarbone, because you've got lots of major nerves that go down there. So rub those as well. And then we're going to tap. So you can tap quite quickly, because again, this wakes everything up. And then I'm going to go back on the skin. I'm going to smooth from the top of the collarbone, you can see, down over the collarbone and to underneath. So work your way along the collarbone. This is nice and deep, but slow. Yeah. So we'll go to the other side. Remember, light touch. Then rub all that area firm and quick. If it's tender, just go a little lighter. You can still do the speed. And then tapping. And then we're going to rub from top over the collarbone to underneath. Work the vagus lymph and vagus nerve and the lymph coming out from your head. So we'll do one side and then the other. Just behind your ear, just behind your earlobe, and before you get to the jaw, edge of the jaw, there's a little indentation there, and that's where all the nerves and blood vessels from and lymph vessels from your head come out. So it's quite an important part. So we're going to stroke nice and lightly down, first of all. And we're going to rub those up and down really vigorously. Tap, if that's comfortable. And then stroking down the side of the neck towards the collarbone. So you'll realize that the collarbone is the key to all of this. So we'll do a few of those, and then we'll do the other side. So nice light stroking first of all. Firm rubbing. Tapping. and then stroking down the side of the neck all the way to the collarbone. And then we'll go to the glands underneath the jaw. So we quite often do freeing the hyoid. We work on a lot underneath here. What I want you to do though is just work very lightly, just in that little area there. And then a bit more firmly, with a nice rub. Tap. And then from the center of the jaw, so if you imagine halfway between the edge of your jaw here and your chin, just in the middle there, just take your fingers underneath the jaw, and then you're going to slide down towards the collarbone. So you'll be in the middle of your neck. We've already done the side of the neck. We want to avoid the windpipe. So you're just to the side of that. And then we'll do the other side. So nice light stroking. Nice vigorous stroke rubbing. Just tapping. And then stroking down the neck. And then we're going to come on to, we often rub the big masseter muscles. So we're going to work those. So if you just feel the underside of your cheekbone right in front of the ear, we're going to do a nice light touch down the side of the masseter muscle and then just slightly towards the chin, about halfway towards the chin, so down and across. And then we're going to give that area a nice rub. So rubbing right underneath the cheekbone this way just helps to ease off that muscle. And then up and down and across the jaw a little bit. And then tapping that area. And then you're going to just take your fingers and put them underneath the cheekbone, pulling down and over the jaw so you're underneath. We'll do that a few times. Okay, and then over to the other side. So nice light stroking. And rubbing across underneath the cheekbone first of all. It helps the muscle relax. And then you can come down to the jaw, rubbing across the jaw a little. And then tapping. And then from underneath the cheekbone, we're going to slide down the side of the face and then underneath the jaw. Okay, and then moving on to the nasal folds here. So you've got a pressure point in line with the bridge of the nose, but on the face. But when you slide down, you can feel that indentation. It might be closer to the nostrils for you. And that's a pressure point that you can rub that's really releases all the sinus congestion. So we're going to lightly stroke this area first of all. Be prepared. My face goes very red when I do this. And then you're going to rub that area into that point. Tap. And then we're going to slide down the side of the face, across the cheek a little bit, on the underside, and then down and underneath the jaw. So it's down, round the underside of the cheekbone, down and under the jaw. One more time. And then moving on to the temples. We're going to do a light touch across the temples first of all. And then a really light touch just going through the hair slightly, just over the tops of the ears. Now, because it's a hairy area, the slower you can make this, the more relaxing it is. So if you feel you've got a headache and you need to clear that area, or you've been grinding your jaw, which is often a stress sign and perpetuates the stress, you can do that really, really slowly, almost like a tickle. And then we'll go firmly across from the eye orbit, across the temples, rubbing firmly, speeding it up. And if you want to, you can go into the hair as well, just above the ears. And tapping the temples, the temporalis muscle over the top of the ears. And then when we slide, we're going to come from the temples, above the cheekbones. You're going to slide to underneath the cheekbones. Bone. So your occipital bone goes from just behind your ear. It's the bone, it's actually the bone here at the back of the head. So we're going to run across the edge of it. We're going to do one side from one ear across to the center. So a nice light touch across there. I'm holding my hair up so you can see, but sometimes it's just as nice to, when you're doing the light touch, to go through the hair. And then rubbing that area nice and firmly. I would go up and down. I think you get a better release of the muscles. Always send shivers up my spine, this one. It can make you feel a little bit lightheaded as well. And then we're going to tap that area. And then from there, stroking towards the front, because all the fluid will, from the back, will always come to the front. If you stroke down and towards your collarbone. And then we'll work the other side. So nice light strokes. If you want to go through your hair, you can. When you gently stroke the hair, the nerve endings get that little light touch. And then we're going to rub to the center. You might find one side is tighter than the other. And tap that area. And then stroking down towards the collarbone, round the front and towards the collarbone.